Hey guys, today I want to talk about kind of lashing our tongue a little bit when we're in Asia. You know, in the United States, we have the freedom to speak however, wherever, whenever, and however we want. We can definitely speak the way we feel in a lot of ways. And sometimes you have to kind of curb it a little bit, but in Asia, you know what? You got to curb it a lot more. And by that, I mean, Asians are very kind of soft-spoken people. Not all of them, most of them. Some of them can be out of control just like Americans can. They feel that they can say whatever they want to hurt people. But the majority of people here are very soft-spoken people. And we should learn from them. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the people over here, when you speak, a lot of the things that we say can be taken out of context. But it can be taken out of context by the way we say it. The way we say things in the United States can be taken in a lot of different ways because we have a different way of speaking. Just little things that we say. We have a lot of ways of saying things in kind of like a context that they don't understand. It's difficult for them to understand the way we speak because we use a lot of euphemisms and a lot of other things. There's just a lot of ways that we get our point across. And over here, you have to kind of learn to get your point across in soft-spoken terms is the best way to say it. When you speak, you can't be hardcore over here. And a lot of Americans seem to speak with a hardcore tone. And I've learned, and you guys see it through my videos, to get my point across in a very diplomatic, nice way, saying what I want to say, but saying it without hurting anybody. I try to say it that way. You know, when I'm not on video, sometimes I say it the way I want to say it if I'm amongst friends. But when you're talking to people, Filipinos and other Asian people, sometimes we have to lash our tongues. We have to kind of be careful what we say unless we're in the proper company to be able to download our true feelings sometimes. We have to be very careful on how we do that and who we're with when we say things. A lot of guys that come over here don't understand that. A lot of expats come over here and feel like they're in the United States and they can just throw out, their mouth can just boom, you know, and just throw everything out there the way we do back home. And they feel that they have that same freedom here. And you kind of do to say that, but sometimes there can be repercussions in the way people look at your character. They can misinterpret that. They can take it the wrong way. A lot of things can happen by your words. It can come back to bite you, and it can come back to haunt you in different ways. If, God forbid, you get into any sort of issues later on, those words can come back to haunt you here. I've seen it with many expats. I've seen it with myself sometimes in different cases and with different people because of misunderstandings with my words. Because we have that American way. And a lot of people, even I've heard this from Europeans in our group, have said that Americans just got a big mouth. They feel like they can just say whatever they want. And I agree with that. We as Americans tend to feel like we can just throw out there whatever we want. We can be rude, offensive. We can call somebody a name or whatever. You can't do that here. You're in Asia. And Asia is a different world. You're half a world away from your home. You're on the other side of the world. And we need to lash our tongues sometimes. It's the best advice I can give most expats over here is that we need to just kind of learn to shut up sometimes. I'm not telling you to be quiet totally. There's ways of saying things. You know, if you watch my videos sometimes I speak like what I'm talking about right now to try to come across as more diplomatic, to not hurt people, to not try to lash out at people or put people down. I don't like putting people down. I've learned to try to hold my tongue. I'm not saying that I don't. Everybody does at some point in their life. I'm not perfect, you know. I've had people try to tell me that you think you're perfect in some of the comments sometimes, and it's the last thing I tell people. I don't tell people I'm perfect. I'm human, you know. I'm a person that's prone to make mistakes sometimes, just like anybody else out there. But I try to tone down my talk, because it's kind of who I am. People can say what they want, and people will, even if you change your ways or you are a good person and you speak well, people will always go after empathic people and attack empathic people, and people will might even say something on this in the comments on this. And for me, for the most part, I really don't care. Empathic people are probably the number one group out of all the groups out there that get attacked the most. When people see that you're a good person, they figure you're an easy target. They'll attack you because you're easy. You have a heart. And they see that, and they feel that that's a way to take advantage of people. I'm not telling you to be so empathic that people will take advantage of you and your words. You still need to be hard sometimes, and sometimes you need to stick up for yourself, obviously. I'm telling you to watch your words, the way you speak, so that way there you will not get into trouble with people. And that's a different thing than people attacking you for being empathic. But sometimes your words might lead to people thinking that you're so empathic that you're a target and you got a target on your back. So be careful of that too. The words that we speak sometimes can put a target on our back when people think that we're too good. People see that you're giving, you're helping people. Sometimes that puts a target on your back. And the number one people that attack you in the Philippines, believe it or not, they're not going to be Filipinos. Although sometimes it is Filipinos. It's going to be other expats out there sometimes. It's going to be the person that you think sometimes is your friend out there. And we see this down in Dumaguete and places like that. They're attacking their own. They're eating their own, and other places too. This is happening also up in Angeles and many other places. People are attacking their own. And it's actually kind of sad. But it also happens with Filipinos here. Be careful out there, guys. Guard your words. Guard what you say. And say it more with love and empathy than with hate and venom. I try sometimes, and Filipinos and Americans can be very rough, that when you're trying to talk with them in a decent way, they keep hitting on you or throwing back garbage at you sometimes. And this comes mostly from the expats, but I also see this with a lot of Filipinos here too. And it comes from Filipinos. They can also be just as bad as Americans. It happens. It can be anybody. It could be a European. It doesn't really matter who it is. The fact is, that's who people are sometimes. Don't let that weigh you down or drag you into other fights. Just use your words with kindness, and then you can walk away. At least you can feel better and say, hey, at least I handled myself properly. They can go out and say all the words that they want about you, but I want to speak to this because you will run into this in Asia, both with expats, both with Filipinos and Asians and people, whether you're in Taiwan, Thailand, wherever you're at, Cambodia. People talk, and gossip will eat you up in Asian countries sometimes. You can get involved in things just because you spoke a certain way, maybe with anger, maybe because you said something and it was taken the wrong way. If there's one thing I notice over here is that the biggest problem over here is people take things the wrong way here. It's almost a given that at some point when you're over here in Asia, a lot of things will get taken the wrong way and thrown back in your face, and it's awful. Now, this happens in the US too, but over here I tend to see it a lot more. A lot of guys, they think Asia is this perfect place. I'm gonna have a young girlfriend, I'm 70 years old, and I'm gonna be dating a girl that's 25 or 26 or 30 or 35, and man, it's gonna be great. I'm gonna have a great relationship. I'm gonna have somebody to take care of me all the rest of my life. And nothing could be further from the truth sometimes over here. People live this dream over here, and it can be true sometimes in many cases, but it's overblown here in the Philippines. It's a bunch of hokey. I'll bet you the failure rate of relationships and marriages over here in the Philippines is just as bad or worse than in the US in some cases. Okay, it's just as bad or worse. It's if you're going to throw yourself out there and marry a girl the second you get off the plane, how long do you think that's going to last? It's not going to last very long. Anyway, guys, I want to throw that out there. Be careful with your speak. Speak with kindness. You know, speak with kindness and compassion and love, and put empathy in your words. I think you'll get along better. You'll get attacked for it sometimes. Those are the wrong people. Those are the people you walk away from when they start with you. You walk away from just say, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I'm done with this conversation. You know, because people will try to trap you and to keep you going and going and going. And sometimes you think, well, let me try to fix this so we can walk away as friends, or we can walk. Sometimes that don't work with people. I found that many times. You cannot be friends with some people. You just can't. If people are continually dragging you in, drag yourself out. Drag yourself out, and sometimes they won't let you. Drag yourself further out. Do what you need to do. Be very careful, but stay away from people like that. Don't put anger in your words. You know, just speak with kindness no matter what, and get away from people that are bad. And you will run into people that are bad over here. But if you watch your words, I think you'll see a lot less of that. God bless, guys. Take care.